and I honestly had my bags packed. I thought that I was actually going into labor. It was so freaky. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bethany if you're new here, and I do motherhood and lifestyle videos here on my channel. So make sure you do subscribe if that's something that you're interested in and seeing more videos like this. So I am kind of racing the clock a little bit today as my daughter is napping. So hopefully I can get through this video without her waking up. She is actually 2.5 years old. She is very excited about becoming a big sister in the next couple weeks here because I am currently 36 weeks pregnant. I have give and take 4 weeks left until then, and I'm kind of hoping that this might be one of my last pregnancy updates. Hopefully next week will be my last one before baby comes, but I guess we'll have to see. You never know when they're gonna come. So I am so excited about it being the end of this pregnancy. I am definitely getting to the point where I am ready to be done, for sure. Make sure you are following me on Instagram, by the way, because if you guys are wanting to know when I go into labor, you might want to be following me on there because I'll be letting you guys know when I am on my way to the hospital, when I'm ready to have this little guy. So make sure you do follow me on there. I'm gonna be saying that often because I know a lot of you guys want to stay connected and you want to be in on the loop. So make sure you do follow me on Instagram. So baby is now measuring at about, I think it's 18.5 inches long and is weighing at about 5.8 pounds if I'm correct. And that's just a guesstimate of how big he could be. That's kind of the average where they are at this point. But for the plant reference, he is the size of a honeydew melon. So I only have about 28 days until my due date. And at this point, baby is just gaining about 0.5 pounds every week. I think in my last pregnancy update, I said that he's gaining 1.5 pounds per week, which is like, that would be scary if that was happening. So he's only gaining about ½ pound a week right now. He's just gaining the weight he needs to be strong and healthy outside the womb. And at this point, I have no idea how big baby is gonna be. Even with my daughter Brielle, I thought she was gonna be tiny. I had a tiny little belly. I was only measuring 36 weeks of my fundal height, and she came out at 8'6". Like, she wasn't a tiny little girl, you know? So I'm kind of curious to see how big this guy's gonna be, if it's gonna be similar, if he's gonna be smaller or bigger, or who knows. But he's just getting the weight he needs so that he can be nice and strong when he comes out. So my belly is now measuring at 38.5 inches around. That actually jumped, I think it was 0.5 inches from my last update. So baby is still growing in there. I honestly feel like I can't get much bigger at this point, but of course that's probably not gonna be the case. I think I'm gonna have a little bit more time here for baby to grow, which I'm really happy about too. I want him to cook a little bit longer in there so he's nice and strong. I still don't have any stretch marks going on right now. My belly is pretty tight. The skin is really tight. So I would honestly be surprised if I came away with no stretch marks again this time, just because I think my belly is shaped so differently. It's a lot more out of my body than it was last time. And so I'm pretty much expecting stretch marks to happen here in the next couple weeks. But again, we'll see. Who knows? My belly is feeling very low too. I don't think he's really dropped, but he's been low this entire pregnancy, and he still has quite a bit of room to move around in there. I think there's a bit of room in between my ribs and him still. He's sitting so low down there. It's incredible. So I think he has a little bit more room to grow. So I'm just gonna move on to some of the symptoms that I've been having these past 2 weeks. And one of them is increased Braxton Hicks contractions, which is basically false labor. It's just your uterus contracting and practicing for the real deal. And I am quite familiar with these. I've had them since 24 weeks with this pregnancy, and I had them since 22 weeks with my daughter's pregnancy. So it's something that I've experienced quite a bit. So I know what the real deal feels like. And I also know that when it is real labor, that you have constant contractions that come every couple minutes, and they are consistent and they get stronger and stronger. So I did have a bit of a scary thing happen this past week, and I honestly had my bags packed. I thought that I was actually going into labor. It was so freaky because I don't usually call my midwife about just anything. These are coming every 10 minutes. They're lasting like 30 seconds long. I'm having 10 in a row in an hour. Is this like gonna be it? Like, am I actually going into labor right now? And so I called my midwife. She said to sit back, relax, drink a lot of water, and that I should check in the next hour just to see how I'm doing. So I tracked my contractions for that hour, and they decided to, you know, kind of drop off. They stopped coming after I just sat down and relaxed. And I've been drinking lots of water, so I think it's just because I have a toddler. I have a 2.5-year-old, and she is extremely busy. She is such a busy girl. I love Brielle to death, but man, like, she does not let me sit down for 2 seconds. And so I think it's just my body saying, slow down, Beth. You need to slow down, because I'm getting to the point where I'm getting, you know, big. My baby is getting quite big. He's almost full term. And so my body is starting to kind of say, I'm done. Like, you need to just take it easy. And I definitely feel like my body is kind of breaking down a little bit at this point. I feel like the end of your pregnancy, your body is kind of screaming with a lot of things. I'm having a lot of pelvic pain this time around, a lot of lightning crotch. That is basically just some sharp pain in your vagina, on your cervix. Sometimes it goes down into my legs, which is really painful. It's kind of little guy moving his head around like this on my cervix, and it's very, very uncomfortable. I am very much ready to be done with that right now. Oh my gosh, it is not fun. My belly is hurting, my back is hurting, you know, my legs, am getting cramps during the nighttime, and when I wake up in the morning in my legs. Never had that with my daughter. My daughter's pregnancy was such a breeze, and I feel like this one, I am just feeling everything. But that's okay. I know he's gonna be here soon. So I did have one last ultrasound, and I did talk about this in my previous vlog that I just posted. Since my daughter was breech, and she was actually an undiagnosed breech. So I did have a C-section last time, if you don't know that about me. I was actually in labor for a couple hours until I found out she was upside down. So I had to be scheduled in for emergency C-section. This time has been great because I've actually had now a total of 5 different ultrasounds to make sure 100% that he is head down, so that I am able to have my VBAC, I'm able to deliver vaginally, which is the goal. I'm really just praying that everything goes smoothly, because I don't want to say that my expectations are high to have a vaginal birth, but I'm really, really hoping that this can happen for me. I just don't want to go through another C-section recovery. It was long and hard and painful, and I'd rather go through the momentary pain of having a vaginal birth than the long-term pain after recovering from major surgery. But if I am to have a C-section, of course, I have no problem going through with that, because I want to make sure that my baby is safe, and I want to make sure that I'm going to be okay as well. So at this point in time, little guy is actually in a posterior position. He is still posterior. Like I had mentioned 2 weeks ago, his back is on my back, so that means that there's gonna be a lot of back labor. Hoping that he will flip during labor to have his back facing my belly or facing out. He does like to move around a lot still. I find that he is sometimes posterior and sometimes he's anterior. I find when I wake up in the morning time, he's anterior. I can feel his back along my belly. I feel his kicks more in my back area, in my ribs, and then he kind of switches during the day. So I feel like he still has a lot of room to kind of move around in there, and I'm really feeling that, again, that head movement on my cervix when he does that. So I'm pretty confident that he, you know, will switch before birth, but if not, then we'll just deal with it, I guess. So anyways, that kind of wraps up this pregnancy update, you guys. Remember, do follow me on Instagram, because you're not going to want to miss that update of me going into labor, and that's where I'm going to let you know first. And you're probably gonna get the first little sneak peek of our little guy on there as well as I work on our birth vlog, which we'll be doing as well. So I am so excited, you guys. It is finally the end of my pregnancy. I can probably say that right now, that I have like a month left and that's it. It's crazy how fast it's gone. I know so many of you have told me how much it's flown by and I feel the exact same way. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great day. Remember to subscribe and we'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.